Hi YouTube, George here. Hope you're all well and happy. And we're going to do a little bit on the rear suspension here with the Dogbones. We have the other shock in. Just temporarily we put the spring on and we have it in. You can see we've no clearance issues here, where the other one had the big reservoir. Now it mightn't have hit it, but I'd be more comfortable, you know, not kind of worrying about it. So anyhow, Dogbones, for those that are not familiar, these are the original RF 900 Dogbones, but I cut them and I added in this little piece because I needed them to be longer in this application than they would have been stock. Now, what Dogbones do is they connect the pivot point of the swing arm here to the pivot point on the knuckle, or the shock lever, or the cushion as some people call it, here. So you've one each side. So what happens is it acts on the when the wheel hits a bump, the Dogbones act on the lever, which through trigonometry and geometry and all of that stuff that someone a lot smarter than me would need to explain, acts on the lever and compresses the shock. So like if you had the shock connected straight, you know, it wouldn't work, not in a monoshock application anyway. So that's why we have the shock lever here, or the knuckle as some people call it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a set of Dogbones. I've actually started this already and I should have picked up the camera, but I didn't. So I'll explain what we're at here. So basically with Dogbones, the way it works is the longer a set of Dogbones are, it will raise the rear of the bike. Okay, so say your tailpiece is here and you put in longer Dogbones, up, and if you're short arse, you can't reach the ground, you need shorter ones that'll bring the back of the bike down so you can reach the ground with your feet. So I have a rough idea of the length that I need from the way I welded these together, but as my dad always says to me, you know, if you can't make something perfect, or you want to make something and you're not sure, make it adjustable. So that's what we're going to do. So we got ourselves a big length of this stuff here, just normal mild steel, which is what Dogbones are made of really. This is 10 mil thick, so total overkill. The stock ones are 6, and we are going to make our Dogbones from that. Now I'll just insert some pictures of what we got up to, where I should have picked up the camera at the start and showed you what I was doing. I'll put them here. So you can see there in the pictures where I had them marked out, and I kind of have the bottom half of them rough cut out here. See, there's two. So, and what we'll do now is we're going to cut out the top. Going to rough out the top here and shape it the way we want it. And what we'll do then is when we've the two of them done and they're both roughed out, we'll clamp and bolt it together here and clamp it here. Then we can put it in the vise and we can go at it with the flap wheel to shape it and get it perfect. So on this end, this is the end that goes down where the shock linkage is. This is going in. So it's like a big M10. Is it M10? Yeah, it looks like M10. So that will go in there and it'll be welded. When Damien comes to do the subframe, he'll weld them in. And you can see that the Dogbone, or this is called a rose joint. If you're not familiar, you can twist it in and there'll be a lock nut on it here. You'll have a lock nut that you lock it against this. So we can make them longer. Now, you know, you might only have 10 or 15 mil of adjustment here, but that 10 or 15 mil, through the geometry of the way everything is hooked up, that makes a huge difference in terms of ride height and you can dial it in and get it exactly where you want it, you know. So that's where we are for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to cut this stuff. Look at the state of the floor, it's all black. And yeah, we can carry on. So we'll get these roughed out, and then we'll rough out this second one, bolt them together, stick them in the vise, and shape them up. So you know, you get the rough shape on it. You leave enough meat on it that when you bolt the two together that you can grind them. So this one is slightly oversized from the scribe lines to allow for any imperfections between the two, but they're fairly close from what I can see. Put them together there. Toasty. So there we go. You know, there's a bit extra meat on the bottom one, so you'll have that at the front. You have the vice grips clamped in here. Just put them in the vice and grind the living bejesus out of them. So I'm not going to subject you to roughing out the second one. So I'll do that off camera, and then we can have to file out this here, which is the notch for the where the thing has to go to accept the rose joint. So we'll go from there. Alright then, so after about maybe 40 minutes or so of grinding, that's what we ended up with. Still a little bit of filing work to be done to finish them off, but the rough shape is there and they are red hot at the minute. The one thing I'd say to you, if you're grinding like that, you know, make sure you don't have your hands over any of the vents on the grinder, because I killed a couple of grinders doing that because they overheat and they die. They don't like it. So I'm going to cool these off under the hose, and we'll have a look then and see what they kind of look like in place. So what I done, this big washer here, I bolted that on, and I kind of used the washer Focus, you fuck. I used the washer as a guide to get the curve on it. So it worked reasonably well. And like I said, a little bit of finishing work to be done here and there on them. But the general idea worked. Okay, let's get them cooled off and we'll be back then. Okay, so as I said, a little bit of finishing work to do here and there. You can see that the circle is not perfectly round, but we'll get all that with the file. I'll probably end up maybe putting a chamfer on them. These will end up being powder coated. So the way I done them, this was the length that I needed for the right height where I have it now. So I just kind of guesstimating by the bottom frame rails under the engine. So what I done was these at their shortest length are the same length as that. So I've about 15 mil of adjustment that can go on these then. So I'm quite pleased with them now, you know, for something that knocked together in an old shed with, you know, a drill, a centre punch, scriber, and a 4-inch angle grinder. Well, sorry, 2 4-inch angle grinders. One there, one there. One for cutting, one for grinding. One for cutting, one for grinding. I tell you something, these discs, lads, if you're looking for discs, if you're here in Ireland or the UK, you get them in Screwfix, 10mm plate, this whole thing, 3 discs. They are serious. And even the ones I took off, the only reason I took them off was because they were gone too small to get in where I wanted. So there's still life in them, you know, if you were cutting sheet or stuff like that. Right, so I'm going to throw these on here and see how they look. Okay, so I have them fired in. Just change the exposure a little bit so we can see a bit better. That's it. Still figuring out this pro video thing. Now these are just fired in, no spacers or anything like that, so it's quite close to the spring there. But I can shim them out if I need to. I can shim them here of about 5 mil each side that I can shim them, so that's not a problem. But as I have to do the spacers for the swing arm as well, so the swing arm is just kind of in free space there, as you can see. Should be about there, I think. Oh dear. So you can see the problem is down the bottom because I've no spacers on it down here, so it's in too far. So we'll figure all that out. We'll do some measuring and see what we need. I think they're glass. You know, if you can't make it perfect, make it adjustable. That's what I always say. So I'm quite pleased with them. Yeah, you could go out and buy some, but where's the fun in that? Okay, we'll leave it there, and we'll get you in the next video, which will be some radio stuff, I'd say, because I'm gonna stop doing work on this now and get the radio stuff I have here done and out of the way, because I just need to do that because it's kind of hanging over me. So there you go. All the best, and we'll get you next time.